So Jennifer and I go way back to when she was with the Michigan Small Business Development, was it Council? I can't remember what it was. The old
Center,
days.
the Small Business Development Center.
Center, that's what it was. Yes, I
Yes.
should remember that, right? Too many acronyms these days. And
Mhm.
now you're with the Manufacturers Association, and also you're the sort of, when I bring this up, you seem to be the person they point to for the Michigan Celebrates competition, or that goes on, has been going on. Gosh, for how many years now has that been going on?
Yeah, Mike, first, thank you for having me on your program today. To answer your question, we are in the 18th annual Michigan Celebrate Small Business Awards program, 18
Wow.
years now. And I've been
Wow.
engaged for about 14.
Yeah, because you were Carol Pucky's assistant or deputy for a long time, and I think you were affiliated with it back then. So goes way back. So
It does.
all right, so let's talk a little bit about that. I always assume that people don't know what we're talking about. So let's start off with explaining what Michigan Celebrates is all about.
Yeah, so Michigan Celebrate Small Business is a 501c3 organization that supports, acknowledges, and celebrates small businesses in Michigan. We have a very robust group of partners and supporters of small business in Michigan, and it's channeling all of those resources into Michigan Celebrates to support the growth of our specifically second stage companies in Michigan.
Yeah, it's not really startups. I've looked at the criteria. This is a company that has maybe a half a dozen employees. Maybe they're doing 750,000 in sales or a million. And then, but they're doing something that really catches the judge's eye. And what would that be? What are the things that the winning competitors, as you might say, what do they have in common?
Yeah, so what they have in common, Mike, is an intent and capacity to grow. So our businesses that are acknowledged at Michigan Celebrates for the 50 Companies to Watch Award have 9 to 100 employees. They have 750,000 to 50 million in sales, and they have to have that intent, that capacity to grow. So the judges, round one and final round, really dive into, are they a stable company? Yes or no? And then what are their projections, their sales projections, their employee projections, and what is that pivot moment that they've had recently or in the near future that's going to accelerate their growth in Michigan?
All right. And right now, reason that many reasons we have you on the show, but the primary one is nominations for 2022 are now open, right?
Yeah, so we recently opened up our call for nominations. You can go to the michigancelebrates.org website. Nominations are open until November 22nd. We also have a nominee reception in there, Mike, a few days before the close of nominations, where we bring together all of the nominees in Lansing. We share with them the benefits of being a Michigan Celebrates awardee, and we celebrate them even being nominated. And that date is November 17th.
Okay. What day of the week is that?
That I believe is a Wednesday,
Wow,
Wednesday the
good day.
17th.
Yes.
We'd love to see you there, Mike.
All right. Well, I'll try to make it. As a disclaimer, I am once again a media sponsor of the event. Gosh, I think I've been a media sponsor for at least 10 years, might be more than that now. And so what that means is I provide a lot of publicity, and then they in turn acknowledge me as a media sponsor, and it's a win-win situation. So do you have any kind of record of these 18 years of some of the winners, winning companies, as it were, that have gone on to become big companies or big winners? I mean, can you name a few?
Oh, Mike, that's a really good question. And I'm confident if I had to pause for just a few minutes, I'd be able to answer that question specifically. I think really where I'd like to answer that question is we have awards all across the state, in all regions of the state, and all industries of the state. I was listening to your previous guest, and we had a cannabis company be the first Michigan 50 company to watch last year, and that company is out of Lansing. So we're current, we look very strategically across the region and across all industries to ensure we have a significant representation of small businesses in Michigan. And yes, many of them do go on to become significant contributors across the nation and across the globe with their growth and their impact.
Yeah. Certainly so. But the biggest thing is, I mean, and we haven't been able to do it for the last couple of years because of the pandemic, is the physical networking. I mean, in the old days before the pandemic, that's really where I got a lot of my work done, was going to events and lunches and dinners and things like that. In your case, you've got your big celebration coming up, getting all these folks together who then compare notes, and who knows, maybe that's the way we start another round of new businesses or consolidations or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, there's something that's very, very active in Michigan, and I'm sure in other states, and that is succession planning for small businesses,
Right.
acquisitions of small businesses by other business in Michigan. So the awards gala, which is held on May 3rd, it is an exceptional opportunity to network with not just small businesses across the state, but supporters of small business. Great place to network. We have a Michigan reception, we have the gala, and then we have an afterglow reception. So the networking is about 5 hours in total.
Yes.
If you have the energy for it, which Mike, I know you've always enjoyed coming to the gala and having conversation with our attendees.
Yeah, I've done that many times. Not recently, of course, but I like, once everybody feels more comfortable in these large settings here, we'll be getting at it again. So, speaking of which, I suppose I should ask real quick, in case this is on anyone's mind, your reception on the 17th. People going to have to wear masks or anything like that, or how are you working that all out?
Yeah, we currently align with CDC guidance. So I believe the current guidance is, if you're vaccinated, I think they still recommend you to wear a mask, but it's not required. And if you're unvaccinated, you want to protect yourself and others from the spread of the virus. So CDC guidance is what you're used to. I don't believe they've changed recently, but we will align with CDC.
Yeah. Okay.
And state guidance.
Sure. It's I always carry a mask in my pocket these days. Even going into it's kind of funny. You go into a restaurant, they want you to wear a mask in. But of course, once you're seated eating and drinking, you can't wear a mask. So whatever. If that gives everyone a level of comfort, what the heck, right? So let's get back to the nominating process. How does one do that?
Yep. So you can go to the MichiganCelebrates.org website. On the landing page, there's a button that indicates nominate. You go in, you create a profile, just your name and email address, so we know who the nominator is. Nominate the company, and the company will automatically get an email saying, Mike nominated you for a 50 Company to Watch Award. Woohoo! Here's the information. And we encourage then the nominees to complete an application. And that application then is due on December 6th.
Now, I imagine there's a vetting process. I mean, somebody just can't say, yes, we're doing $1 million a year, and you take their word for it, right? I mean, there's got to be some vetting, right?
Yes, actually, the 50 Companies to Watch Award has an extensive judging and vetting process. I'll briefly share with you that our awardees go through an initial screening of criteria, that they match the criteria. Then they move on to round 1 judging, which is done virtually. And then they go to a final round judging, which is a 1-day in Lansing. We look at about 90 companies that have passed the round 1, have deep dive conversation about every single company. And then, Mike, we identify 55 companies to move forward, 5 alternates, so the top 50 and 5 alternate. Then those companies go through, it's about a 2 to 3 week due diligence process that we work with the CPA firm. They look at the financials, they look at, liens. Does the company have any liens? How are they, with Google searches? Is there anything negative in the media with them? So it goes through an extensive vetting and due diligence process. And every year we have 1 or 2 companies where that were in the top 50 that we ask them to come back next year, and we move up to alternates. But yeah, very extensive process. That process is completed by mid-February. And we make our announcement to those companies around that time period by the end of February. And then by mid-March, we share with the state who our companies are for the awards gala on May 3.
Now I'm trying to remember. I think they get like a trophy kind of thing, an award that for the winners, right? I'm trying to remember exactly what it is.
Yeah, we truly support and acknowledge and celebrate the companies engaged with Michigan Celebrates. They get a very nice glass award that's been consistent over 18 years. They receive a letter from the governor at the time. Since my engagement, it's been Granholm, Snyder, and now Governor Whitmer. So they provide a letter that we frame for the awardees. And we provide them with all the media kits. So we help them promote that they are a Michigan Celebrates awardee. So we try to, we've been in this game now, Mike, for 18 years. We perfect the process and the value to being a Michigan Celebrates awardee every year. And this year is going to be no different. We're excited to celebrate, see those nominations come in, and to celebrate our small businesses.
All right, we're running low on time in this segment. One more time, why don't you give out now? Another thing too, now a company can self-nominate. It doesn't have to be someone from a third party doing it, right?
Correct. We encourage companies to self-nominate, and we encourage community members and supporters of small business to nominate other businesses. I mean, Mike, there's not a better time right now coming out of the pandemic, or maybe just surfacing a bit from the pandemic, to look back and celebrate the impact small business has on our communities. This award, just being nominated for this award, is a great way to acknowledge and celebrate the impact those small businesses have had.
Okay, one more time, give that the address people need to go to in order to do either self-nomination or to nominate another business.
MichiganCelebrates.org.